I do, like pointing out the Labor Department. He doesn't seem to understand how that could have prevented this whole problem, or just stay focused on Federal Reserve. He does talk about it as being, central focus for why we have the problems in our land. Okay, but he doesn't talk about how the socialism not happening in a vacuum. How we need to explain more to socialists that we agree that crony capitalism is causing this ever-growing wealth imbalance and the ever-growing desperate poverty and more poverty and all this. Okay, so that's the socialists think they're the good guys that are opposed to the poverty and the wealth imbalance. And so, if Alex Jones wants to defend capitalism, he needs to do that. I don't think he's been doing it. And you see, I'm the hardest guy on this, Alex Jones. But I still think the InfoWars is a great source for finding, people that think outside the box, that can really point to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, even if I don't agree on everything they say. And I think that more people ought to talk the way I do instead of leaving me flapping in the wind and just saying, let's get to the bottom. Let's be honest. Let's simply do the math. But it's going to take getting it, and we are, and that's why I say this is supposed to be a positive video, uplifting, comforting, and encouraging. Because if you are on the right side of history, okay, and you are that 1% off, that you're 99% anti-elitist, you believe in equality, but you're withholding 1%. You have an opportunity, a small window of opportunity, to jump ship and get away from that. Be 100% committed. Say, God, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's perfection. That's idealism. That's egalitarianism. Okay? Do you understand what you're saying? Your heart becomes pure. You're found worthy and deserving of going to a better world, where not only is there no way to get an advantage in that paradigm, in that reality, in that new world, okay, there's nobody there that would want to have advantage over another. Do you understand the beauty of that? The perfection in that. It's so great to think we could be in this place and play like children. Never a dull moment, always just doing stuff together, having fun together. Wherever we want to be, whatever we want to do, we're beholden only one, our owner, and our conscience thereof, and we're free. We're just blissed out, man, in euphoria all the freaking time, filled with joy, peace, comfort, and safety, and security, and prosperity. All those things we all want, right? So that's what we're shooting for. That's the promise God holds out, and he can't be a liar. It's going to be perfect. So let's do it, man. Let's everybody, just say, look, be pure of heart, believe 100%. And if you fall and you say, well, I guess I wasn't believing 100%, so admit it, confess it, and then God is faithful to forgive us, and so you're found worthy and deserving again. So it's just like that. Whenever you do wrong in any way, if it's just in your heart, your mind, and your spirit, your soul, out of the words of your mouth, your actions, whatever, toward God or a man, you need to confess it. And when you do, you could be forgiven because you have admitted it. So it's been revealed to the light of day to God, and so you can be forgiven 100% and be found worthy and deserving of going to that better world. But we've all got to be very clear that it takes being completely right, not partly right, to enter a better world. Otherwise, you go to that place with those in that other camp. There's only two camps. You either made it or you didn't. So you get to go to that place with the elitists running the show. So the worst, most evil people are going to be running you around, and they're going to be miserable having you down there acting all self-righteous and stuff around them and telling them who's going to be bought. I mean, it's just going to be hell. It's something out of Dante's Inferno, 9 circles of hell. That's it. And but I encourage everybody, just let God be your guide, and if you do, you're going to succeed. And success, as defined spiritually, is an entirely different thing from how it's defined secularly. Secularly, worldly speaking, of course, it's all about money. But to God, it's all about, saving our souls. And only we can decide to do that. Nobody else can save us. Only we can make that decision. And we can lead others to water, but we can't make them drink. And that's the water of the living God that just, wants the best for us. And it's reasonable, logical to assume that. And it's written there, that is the way it is. So there's good things to come for those that are pure in heart. And we're going to go through this storm. I mean, it's been a storm all along. I mean, when I've had to witness this thing my whole life and I've been paying attention, it's been unnerving. I mean, I've lived an unnerving life. Very frustrated, very anxious, and just wanting this thing, this worm to turn and for us to, hit the wall finally, for God's sake, and, get on a new trajectory where instead of going toward death and destruction, we're going toward life and toward building the kind of world we want, freedom and security, all those good things that we all want by, just progress as defined by capitalism, supply and demand, free market, where your currency goes up in worth, not down, and everybody automatically, naturally, organically gets more rich and prosperous, and nobody cares about money all of a sudden, and God's will is established on earth gradually. But they haven't allowed that to happen, and I've been watching this unfold for a long time, and it's so aggravating. I mean, I cannot convey how aggravating it's been to me. That bailout of '08, I cannot tell you. Watching people accept this gradually, even guys like Alex Jones. I mean, it's like, dude, you're so smart, and you seem like you have so much honor and integrity and all this, but I mean, are you missing the mark here? I mean, are you really being 100% wholly honest about it? This is wrong. You can't accept it. I mean, not only can you say, well, I was opposed to it, but now that it's here, I'm going to accept it. No, you can't do that. It needs to be revisited. We need to upset the apple cart, man. Okay, the boat needs to rock, okay, in the right direction. We need to manipulate the way the ship is being steered because it's careening to destruction. In my mind, it's not only, sinking, it's on the rocks, but a lot of people haven't had time. They don't get that yet. It's been there a long time, ever since they took over this country, ever since the coup of 1963 at the assassination of JFK. Okay, it's been sinking since then. I mean, and now it's gone. Frogs in the water. We're cooked now. We're all cooked. Okay, so the few grains of sand left in this hourglass of madness are just about out. That's the good news, man, is that it just has to wind up. And it's at the hand of God, and it's at the right time in history. Okay, but God's speaking to us one final time to say, look, here's an opportunity, jump ship. The flames of hell are lapping at your behind, whether you know it or not. It might be happening on a subliminal, semi-conscious level. Inadvertently, you're on the highway to hell. You didn't know it, but you've got to jump 100% all the way. Pull the Band-Aid off clean, man, and just get away from those authoritarians, those establishmentarian types that support the status quo and the state of affairs in our land and the movement of this Overton window and the normalization of utter madness and literal, genocide, normalizing genocide on the streets of America and saying it's okay and that you're bad if you don't want all the immigrants in the world to come here. You don't want to give them a chance. I mean, coming with women and children that are being oppressed in their land. And yet, we're not transmitting any images of wanton homelessness in America to these people. You think they'd want to come here in droves? You think so? I mean, of course not. Of course they wouldn't. But is there any discussion on the mainstream media about that? Why aren't we transmitting pictures of these people in their homelands? Everybody's got a media device or a family member that's got some all over the world now. It'd be as simple as that. Transmit images of wanton homelessness in America. Okay, how, natives, sons and daughters that were born here in America, citizens, how the government, the precious government, whoever that is, the only legitimate one is we, all the people, not some of the people, constitutionally speaking. So, everybody's got a different idea. We're talking Babylon here, and nobody knows up from down anymore. But this is how the government, that bureaucrats and politicians, this is how they treat the native sons and daughters. So what hope is there for us coming from another land? I mean, first come, first serve. So if they're not taking care of these people, who are we to believe they're going to take care of us? And we're needy. We're destitute people. We're hungry people. But they want it. You see, the evildoers want young, strong immigrants to come in and displace us. The elder Americans that, their work is hardy and fast and they're not as hungry, so they need more. They're cocky and they want more money and they want more, right? So, it's seen as better to bring in these young, strong immigrants that are starving, and they'll take a lot less and they'll be a lot, happier to work here. So you get, it's all part of this scheme, this plan. It's deliberation. But they've gotten away with as much as they can. The S is hitting the fan, as they say. Okay, and thank God that, Trump, I thank God for Trump. Yes, I do. And I totally disagree. I mean, he's caught bold-faced lying before. We've seen that. the whole thing with Stormy Daniels payout with his attorney. Okay, I'll admit that, but this Russia thing is nonsense. I mean, he's got every right and reason in the world to talk to Vladimir Putin. We're supposed to be making peace. Okay, détente, all that kind of stuff is good, but yet they're gonna. You see, they turn a little molehill into a mountain with this thing. It's all just a diversion from reality. They don't want to focus on Hillary Clinton's emails. They don't want to focus on any of the crimes